Hi everyone. I'll wait a few moments for a couple of people to get on. How is everyone? I might as well start. That's okay, friends. How is everyone today? It's a very, very, very cold, chilly Saturday the 3rd of July, 2021. I can't get this call now, so I'll have to hang up. It is very cold in Melbourne, Australia. Hope everyone is well in Australia. And it is probably, we're 9 hours ahead of Europe, so it's early Saturday morning, and probably early Saturday morning in America too. I'm not sure in Canada, it'd probably be the same. How is everyone today? Now, friends, I've got a few things that I want to go through with you, what's happening in Melbourne and what's happening in Australia and the world. And I quickly thought I'd better get a quick 1 hour, half hour, 1 hour break to have a quick chat with you guys because I've missed a lot of you talking publicly like I used to do every day. Unfortunately, I've got too much going on, especially with the parrots, so I have to prioritize my time. I'm just going to go through a few inspirational words at the start from my Remember the Calendar I used to always read. So for today, Saturday, we judge ourselves by what we feel capable of doing, while others judge us by what we have already done. Now, there's two ways to that. So it says that we judge ourselves. Can you read that? We judge ourselves by what we feel that we're capable of doing, but others judge us by what we've done. Now, I would agree and disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. Because when I meet you, I'll not only look at what you've done in the past and what you'll be doing, but I'll also look at your potential. I'm able to see everyone's potential. Now, but pretentious people and people who are quite hollow only look at what you've achieved and how much money you have. They don't care to see how they can help you or what you can do to better your life. Right? So we judge ourselves by what we feel capable of doing. And you know, friends, unless you try something, how do you know if you can achieve it? How do you know? If you don't try something, it doesn't matter if you fail. You try once, twice, 3 times, you keep trying, right? So keep trying. Do not judge yourselves by only what you've done up to now. If there's something good in the micro picture or macro picture, something you want to achieve in life, and you think it's for good for yourself, for your family, for the environment around you, and for the planet, try it. Try it. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, but you got to try things. Hello, Mary. Happy Saturday to you too. Now, I'm not sure if I'll have a chat tomorrow with you guys if I have time because I'm flat out here with a lot of trees and the aviaries. So the Sunday, I'm just checking the birds outside. When you see my eyes wandering, it's because I'm looking at the birds. So Sunday it says, if you are not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. Now, friends, how applicable is that now, right? So if you are not willing to risk the unusual, you'll have to settle for the ordinary. And friends, aren't we going through the unusual at the moment? Right? All over the world, we are going through the unusual. All over the world. And what that means is that we're experiencing things that aren't usual to us, that aren't normal to us, that we're not familiar with. Right? So if you're not willing to risk the unusual, you'll have to settle for the ordinary. We have to strive for the unusual because the ordinary isn't going to be what we want. Right? It's not what we want. We don't want the ordinary. We do not want what's going on in the world. Now, I'm going to try and keep things my topics as consistent as possible because you know that often I can go backwards and forwards, right, with topics. Now, friends, we just got out of Mercury in retrograde. Well, Neptune in retrograde is very similar too because it's going to strip away, it's going to expose a lot of deceptions And Mercury in retrograde is a lot like that. I'm just cleaning my glasses, my reading glasses. So we've just come out of Mercury in retrograde till July 7th, which is what, on Monday, right? And we've got the full moon energies are still intact, right, which was a week ago. But we have Neptune in retrograde from June the 25th till end of December in Pisces. And I've said to you guys many times that Pisces is one of my strong planets. And what Neptune retrograde means going backwards. It's as if the planet's going backwards. But what it makes us do, what the term retrograde means is, it's about us reviewing, reassessing, right? So Neptune in retrograde is associated with stripping, pulling away the illusions, dreams, and the false realities that have clouded our vision. You see, friends, last year, when in March we had lockdowns in Melbourne, because I've known about this situation in the world, if I can call it, from at least January last year, whereas it came in the media more February, March, after the cruises, the cruise liners and all that in Australia. I don't know what happened in the rest of the world. But the whole year last year was an education process for me, because I got to go on all the groups and individuals, most of them anyway, to hear what they were saying in their videos, live videos or pre-recorded videos, to see how they're educating me, to see if what they're saying is logical, rational, or real, if it's correct or not. I've got the window open, it's a bit cold. So last year, 2020, for myself, and maybe for you too, it was an education. I'm just going to close the window, it's cold. It was an education process. Now just have a look at my second brain at the back there for a moment, just while I close the window, because it's very, very, I can feel the wind is coming through, even though the sun's coming out. So last year, friends, was an education process for myself and for many others. And like I said, we went online and we learnt a lot of things that we knew or that we didn't know. A lot of things that I saw years ago, I dismissed, and they came back again last year for me to revisit them and learn again. And I'm talking, politics, the new age stuff, all this stuff that's online. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? All this worldly stuff that's happening. I don't want to get specific with keywords so that no one online has any issues here, the technocrats here that run the social media platforms. So it was a whole year of education for me. And what I did, because it's my character, I've been working from 14, I've been volunteering at least 20 years, actually over, I've been doing a lot of things in my life. So my character, my nature is to always take initiative, always. I'm not the type to sit back and let others do something. I take initiative and I offer my professional and personal services. So my professional services are all the skills that I have professionally. They're all on my counseling, or most, not half of them are on my counseling website. Okay. And my other personal skills could be talking to, listening, personal advice, things like that. Right. And my personality. I'm perceptive, I'm very intuitive, my clairvoyance, intuition, all that. Okay. So I offered these to a lot of the people who I contacted last year, but they weren't interested. I mean, I was trying to help them. It wasn't for my benefit. I was trying to help them. And it's a bit, I got suspicious and I'm thinking, I'm offering you something for free, for nothing. I'm offering you my marketing, my PR, my time, my project management and all that. Why aren't you taking up my offer? Why aren't you taking up my offer? Instead, you're sort of dealing with people who are not educated or people who have not had the vast experience that I've had. So I thought, well, there's something going on here. And I was not wrong because, and it's not an egotistical thing what I'm saying, it's just that they were asking for help. These groups were asking for help. It's not that I just threw myself and said, I'm here. They were asking for help. And because I can see ahead what's going to happen, I'm saying, okay, I'll offer my help in that area. So anyway, they weren't interested. And I contacted people, and I still did up until some months ago, up until around May. I've still contacted a lot of these online groups in Australia, and they're not interested. Why? Well, friends, there is a term called controlled opposition. And don't say, oh, Paris, here you go again. No, you got to listen to this, friends, because it's going to slap you in the face really fast. Really, really, really fast. Not from me. It's already slapped a lot of people. It's going to slap a lot more of you very, very quickly in the next few months. or the not so obvious establishment. An establishment is another term for, established organizations, established families. There's people that are out there for hundreds and thousands of years who are established in politics and business and the rest of it, right? Your billionaires and the rest of it. So controlled opposition is the same as not so obvious establishment. And controlled opposition just means that someone up here is dangling the strings of people who they hire, who they appoint and hire, to tell you and me things that we want to believe, that sound true, that are true, but they're just telling us, they're not doing anything about it. And the not so obvious establishment is the same. Again, they are hired from people. An example of not so obvious is Trump. He's pretending to what the freedom for people, but he's not doing anything. He just blah, 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 blah. I listened to the videos, been listening to him on Twitter every day last year. I listened to the whole thing, blah, 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 but he did nothing. There are still people who followed Q and Trump, and he was still in jail in America. He hasn't gone to help them. It's just blah, blah, blah. He has not led any movements. He's not educated people. He's not educated people. He's just saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm in jail Hillary Clinton because of the emails and all the sagas. I'm going to do this and that. He hasn't done nothing. Zip, zero, tipota, nine, nicht, nothing. Right? So, Kennedy, the Parkinson's Kennedy, is another not so obvious establishment. Because it's his family who in the 60s, I think it was the 60s, who introduced the law in America and said that people cannot sue pharmaceuticals. So if you get medications, you can't sue the pharmaceutical companies. Can you believe it, friends? So if you trip over at my house, you can sue me. If you trip over at my house, you can sue me. But if I buy with money something which is meant to help my health, I can't sue you for misleading me or for it not delivering the promise. Like, you come to me, right? I'm a counselor, I'm just checking the birds. And you come to me for advice about your husband, right? He's pissing you off, blah, blah, blah. And I turn around and I tell you, well, you have to leave him. You got to leave him. This is your advice. I can't see any censoring here, Mary. I'm not getting crashed anything here. Right? You can sue me as a counsellor if I tell you that you have to do something. Whereas we can't sue other companies if they tell us to eat or drink something. We can't sue them. Isn't that wrong? Isn't that wrong? And it's the Parkinson's Kennedy, right? If it is really him or clone or whoever it is. Tucker Carlson's, Del Bigtree's, Alex Jones. All these people are saying exactly what we want to hear. Even David Icke, I can't trust anymore. Right? Because I tell you something, friends, if I went out in public and said what all these people are saying, they'd be doing. I mean, I've got one person, two people listening. Why would they be censoring me? It doesn't really show how many people are listening. Are getting chopped. Thanks, Mary. Let me know if you can still hear what I'm saying, because it's funny, Before I even went live, and while it was refreshing to go live, my speakers were playing up. So it could be the internet connection, because I do have the internet connection crashing. If it's really annoying, tell me, because I might as well end it if you guys can't hear me. So the not service establishment and controlled opposition is the same. So what's going to happen is the next 6 months, Neptune being in retrograde, it will expose illusions, dreams, and false realities. Because, friends, we all have to realize that we are in a false reality at the moment. We're in false realities. And what's happening is that realities are going to come out in our life, in our relationships, our intimate relationships, with our parents, with our kids, with our colleagues, our bosses, politicians. It's going to come out. But no point these things being exposed if we can't see them and if we don't hear them. And friends, all these things, they say everything in the media. They are telling us all these things in the media. In TV, radio, newspapers, they're telling us all these things. Now, putting Neptune aside, Let me ask you something, friends. Last year, 2020, like I was saying before, we had a couple of protests, right? Right. So we had a couple of protests, and people were other influencers were telling you guys to write letters against, child abuse and this and that and whatever. So letters were sent to the government. Protests were done, right? All this kerfuffle and all these videos, most of the videos that we're all seeing from the police and all that, they're all fake. They're all fake. They're not real. Most of them are fake. There might be one or two that's real, but most of them are fake. Tell me, friends, with everything that happened last year in Melbourne, I don't even have to go to the other states. I'm just pouring my nettle tea. In Melbourne, what has changed? Has anything changed? Do you see the child abuse or the domestic violence groups coming out saying, oh, we don't have as much domestic violence this year because last year people, were writing to the government and protested against it? Aren't things like getting worse this year in life and in our personal lives and professional lives and business lives? Where are they getting better? With all the things that a lot of you did last year, the protests, like I said, the letter writing, getting pissed off online and comments on media release stuff online and stuff, nothing has changed for us for the better. It's become worse. See, what we've done is we've exposed to them and revealed to them how we think. So when a bully knows how you think, what are they going to do? They're going to go harder. So they're going harder. I mean, they're going to go hard regardless. They're going to go harder. And then you have a lot of these fake online influencers who are brainwashing you about your Magna Cartas, common rights and all that. I used to talk about this stuff too. I just didn't brainwash them into you. I got brainwashed. I got sucked in. Talking about our rights. Do you understand, friends? I've said many times, when their state of emergency is declared legally or lawfully, whatever you call it, I don't care what you call it, right? We have no rights. I mean, we didn't have rights before. If you really thought that we had human rights before 2020, you must have lived a most unbelievably peaceful, wonderful life. You didn't go through shocking divorces. You didn't go through shocking child custody battles. You didn't go through taking builders to court or businesses to court. You must have had a perfect life if you think that we have human rights. And these controlled opposition individuals and groups online have been telling you all this stuff so that you can focus and push and saying, I've got rights, I've got rights, I've got rights. You can't take my bag from me. You can't take my phone from me. You can't arrest me. You can't do that. I've got rights. You're wrong, friends. There are no rights under fascism. There are no rights under dictatorships. There are no rights under state of emergency. This is why they declare it a state of emergency. And yet a lot of you are still turning a blind eye to all this, saying we have rights. I don't get it. Many times I've wanted to give up speaking publicly because it takes up a lot of my time. I should be working 24/7. I work throughout the night. And I'm thinking, how many of you are going to get it of what's going on? Like, I don't know I don't know how perfect your lives are because my life is not perfect. I've got problems with relationship. I've got problems financial. I've got bills, expenses. I've got birds I'm trying to save from people who abuse them and exploit them and trying to kill them. I've got people that I listen to who are suicidal, who are dying and whatever. I'm helping these people. If you guys have got time to inspire other people, do it. Rather than going out for coffee, playing tennis and holidaying and all the bullshit. I can't understand why you would even think of living a life like that with what's going on in the world. We're beyond fucked. I mean, like, if you have eyes to see, well, can't you see what's going on around you? Can't you see what they're making us wear, do, and whatever? I've said to you last year, you better start listening to the media because the media is telling us what's going on. It's these controlled opposition groups online that are telling you don't listen to the media, just listen to them so that you don't know what's happening. Because all the information that I get is from the media and other sources. The media is online. I don't have to switch on the TV. I just go on news.com.au or on Google and I just search things, right? Isn't it the same thing? But these people, like Reignite Democracy, which is only a Liberal Party group, They are suddenly now against Andrews, against Andrews. They're doing the same shit they did last year before the Victorian state elections. When was it? August, September? This has nothing to do with Andrews, friends. With our premier. This is Andrews is a state premier in Victoria. It's got nothing to do with him. It's got everything to do with him and the whole government. It's not just him, friends. So when you see these groups that are just targeting just certain individuals in government, saying it's his fault, her fault, and whatever, they are all controlled opposition. Do you understand? It's the whole government, not just of Australia, of the whole world. Do you understand that these things are happening in Canada and America and Greece? Greece is finished. Forget it. Forget it. If you've got assets in Greece, you've lost it. Don't even think that they're worth anything. And you won't be able to go get them anyway unless you've got this. Right? You're finished. And same if you've got assets in Italy, Spain, and the rest of it, because a lot of people from UK have got assets in England, in Spain, live in Spain and assets and go backwards and forwards. This is all over the world. This is all planned. This was all planned. We knew this. We knew this was going to happen. If you didn't know this was going to happen, you've been living a life of luxury, of peace, and a very, very easy life with no problems. Right. So now you know. You've lived that life, and now you know what problems we have. Okay, so you say, all right, Paris, I was lucky enough. I'm not criticizing you. You say, all right, Paris, I was lucky enough to have a good life, whatever. I didn't have a lot of problems and dramas like you had or like others had, whatever. What do we do now? If you keep following the controlled opposition and not service establishment and listening to them, we're going to... this thing is going to keep happening in life. It's happening, right? It's a year and a half later from last January, and things are still the same, getting worse. We've got barcodes we've got to scan, you know, we can't go interstate, we can't do this or whatever. I'm telling you now, friends, that unless we have this, they won't even let you get on the dole. Come here, Musty. They won't even let you get on the dole. They won't let you have any kind of allowance, stability, and the rest of it. Why do you think that they are not pushing for people under 40 to get this? Because they know that people under 40 are still not, they're not clear in their head much. Most of them. I'm telling you most. Most people under 45, I'd say. But let's just stick to the age the government chose in Australia. Most people under 40 have not had life experiences. Probably on your first marriage, right? Got young kids. You've got other things to concern yourself about. They need your vote. That's all it is, friends. And these groups online, all they're doing is that they're focusing on the generation from 20 to 40, 45, because they want votes. Do you understand that they are fake groups? All the groups are fake. Have they told you what to do to go out there for your freedoms, other than the protests? What have they achieved? This is not how you run protests. Musty, don't you? No. What have these groups online, or any politicians, whether it's your Bossy or your Craig Kelly or that, they've just gone up on platforms talking or selling conferences and shit and whatever. Have they gave you any verbal or metaphysical or emotional ammunition to strengthen yourself physically and emotionally to go out there and to say something and do something? Nothing. No, they're saying, no, rely on us, wait for us, we'll tell you when to protest, we'll tell you when to write letters, we'll tell you what to do. Just share this video, share. What's sharing videos going to do, friends? Do you understand? They are distractions. Sharing videos of the same things over and over. I'm blocking everyone. I'm blocking everyone. You keep sending me these shit videos because I don't have the time to even go through Messenger. I'm getting bombarded with emails and messages. You're just wasting my time and my energy. I don't even look at videos unless I know you and you say, Paris, look at this video. You'll get something out of it. Right? Otherwise, I just delete, and I'm just going to keep blocking everyone because you guys are just sharing, and you're not, like, you're sharing the same shit that was going around last year. And I tell you, it's controlled opposition individuals and groups who are doing this to create this fear. Because you see, friends, all this stuff is getting manifested. All these things are getting manifested. So if you're going through child custody problems, divorce, you're losing your money in business and all that, and then you see these videos on top of it, you say, fuck this, I'm not going to deal with it. So instead of these there should be inspirational videos telling you what to do to educate you, not just for you to say, fuck this, I can't do, I've got enough problems on my plate. Because we all have problems on our plate. I've got millions of problems on my plate. You have millions of problems. But if we are taught and guided and educated of how we can focus our mind to do what we need to do to get ourselves out of this rut, we won't say, fuck this, I won't deal with it. But don't waste your time with all nurses speaking and doctors speaking, whatever. No. This is all controlled opposition. And that means it is individuals and people and groups who are telling you what they know that you know, that we know. And we assume that they're going to do something about it. They've done nothing. Like Joe Big Tree, he's done doco, so what? What has he done? He's sitting behind in his studio office doing what? Doing what? Has he led a movement? Even Trump with QAnon. You didn't see Trump down the streets running a movement and suing and putting in jail people that who are Republicans and Democrats. No, he hasn't done that. And again, I go back to Reignite Democracy. They are a full liberal far-right group. This is why they support Craig Kelly. Far-right. And this is why they only criticised Daniel Andrews and they criticised what's his name? The guy next to me here, the health minister. I've forgotten his name now. Greg Hunt. But he was at home. Why didn't they organise outside his office to meet him there? Why? Because these groups want you to say, oh, we're having a protest outside the office. Friends, if you want to communicate something with them, you don't have to protest in front of my house. You can call me, you can talk to me and say, Paris, I don't like what you're doing to me. But they're not doing that with no politicians because that's not their focus or their goal. Their goal is to distract you for you to think that they're doing something for our freedoms when they really are not. So, when I said you guys send me videos, and there was a video about an alleged protest that was in the UK last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. Now, if you look at the name of the company, I think it's Oracle Films. Friends, look at who produces and creates these films. Oracle Films is another not so obvious establishment who they've got the fake Kennedy and all the fake medical group and the International Justice or whatever and the rest of it, these medicos from rather Scandinavia or whatever they are, they're all fake. I mean, look at who produces these videos. Look at who creates them. And friends, we don't need to see professional videos. I'm not saying it because I don't do them. I can do them, but I don't have the time. Got better things to do than sit there and edit 100 hours a week. Right? If there's a protest happening, I don't care if it's raw footage. If it shows people who are really protesting for their rights. Not seeing people jump around laughing and smiling and whatever for their rights. That's not a real protest. If you're protesting for your rights, you're not jumping up and down smiling and laughing and dancing to music. What's that about? What the fuck is that about? When we are being forced to do this and this and barcodes and the rest of it, you're jumping around at a fucking protest? Serious? You can't tell that a lot of it is planned? Do you know that they pay people to go to protest so they can fill up the crowds, they can look like they're protesting? So what have they achieved? What has it achieved, friends? Anyway, now, so I've got here the article from the media that a lot of you don't want to see because you're completely deaf dumb, right? So our state Victorian Premier has now gotten this week, has asked the doctors, the GPs, to give us advice when and if we get this, right? That's because, but he's also put in a clause that a dear friend online reminded me and Philip reminded me that we can't sue the doctors. So it's another Kennedy game. So if my doctor advises me and says, yes, Paris, you can do it, you're fine, whatever, and then I die from it, or I get really sick from it, I can't sue him. Really? I'm going to allow my health, my life, in the hands of someone who doesn't know my health completely? Unless you do 1,000 tests on me, how can you know my health? I need to get MRIs, ultrasounds, x-rays, blood tests which are not good. Blood tests are not good for us because they get more blood from us than what they should. Right? Unless you do millions of tests, how does anyone know how good our health is? Would they put their own, guarantee their house and their assets? How about we tell all the GPs to guarantee to put their houses and their assets and all their cash and their money as a guarantee for when they tell us what to do with our health? I mean, I shouldn't even be talking about this, friends. This is, a 5-year-old can get this. A 5-year-old, can understand that this is worse than a comedy. This is black comedy. This is ridiculous. That they actually put this in the media for people to read this. Like, oh, okay, I'll listen to my doctor. I won't sue him, though, if he causes me harm or kills me. Seriously, friends, do you understand that they think that we are so stupid, and we are? Because we are following the controlled opposition, the not so obvious establishment. All the groups from the 99% that Ricardo Boss is, all of them, the females, males, all of them, they're all fake. All of them. They're all fake. This is why we are where we are today. Right? So if you keep asking me, Paris, how do you know they're fake? Why they're fake? Where are we today? And don't say, well, Paris, what have you done? Because I know what I've done, and a lot of you know what I've done. I've spent my whole year listening to you guys for nothing on the phone, on Messenger, giving you advice, helping you guys, on top of all the bird behavior advice and the rest of it and the rescues. I don't have thousands of members that I've paid for to be able. If I had 1,000 members, I'd get out on the streets. I don't have the membership. I haven't done the marketing. I haven't paid Facebook ads to get more reach and all that. I haven't done that because I need that money to feed the birds. Right? I haven't done that. The other groups that have got 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50, 100,000 plus, they should be doing these things. But they're all controlled opposition because they have the money. See, you and I don't have the money. They have the money because it is all about votes and a distraction. That is all it's about, because Liberal and Labor are the same. Democrats, Republicans, the same. Oh, and same with the Greens and all. They're all the same. And the Justice Party, they're all the same. All of them. Now, next. They've got here, I got here yesterday on the Victorian government. I got a text yesterday. From the government, and it said, it's amazing how they, because I'm probably registered under, because I've got a few businesses under my name, right? So it says here, under VicGov, right? Can you see that? Can you see that, friends? Your business must use this. You can read it, right? You can see it. From 1st of July risk fines, right? So then I went on that link, right? So I'm guessing most business owners got this. If you run a business, you would have got that text. So I've posted this up. Now, a lot of you are going to say, but Paris, we already have. You know, we got to scan. I don't scan. I don't care. I just want to walk in the shop. If you want me to scan, I won't scan. I've never scanned anywhere, right? Wherever I go. I don't go out much, but when I do, I don't. And there's 10 pages here of who should scan and who shouldn't scan. Well, let me tell you something, friends. If you can avoid going to a place and no scans, do it. I mean, surely you can shop online. You can do things different ways without scanning. Or maybe there are some businesses just going to turn a blind eye. But they're going to be scared because they don't know if you're undercover. And if you don't ask all your customers to scan, they get fined. And that's why I blame the Business Association, which then I retracted, because you know who runs the business associations, right? So it says here who should scan, who should check in, and who shouldn't check in. And, I mean, it's happening now, friends. What are we waiting for? This has been happening in Victoria from last year. Where else in Australia have they been expecting people to scan? Where? Have there been other states in Australia where they're expecting people to scan? I can't remember everything. Right? I need to write things down to remember a lot of things. Where else in Australia did people have to scan to get in shops? What are we waiting for? We can't rely on the people who are on drugs, alcohol, and prescription medications because they're off their heads. Their brains are not functioning right. Do you understand that what a lot of you guys think is going to happen in the future? It's actually happened now. It's been happening for the past 10, 15, 20 years. But a lot of you guys haven't seen it. Because you've been living that great spoon-fed life, especially in Australia. Not criticising, but it's a reality, right? Every year, what were you thinking? When am I going to go on holidays? What am I going to do? What car am I going to get? What house am I going to get? The kids all have to get their phones and their designer clothes and shit. And that's where we were all distracted, right? Okay. Do you know that sunflower seeds are unbelievable for you? Now, if you're going to get sunflower seeds for your parrots, now listen, friends, you're not got backwards and forwards in politics and health, right? They're great for us. Get the grey seeds only for the parrots. If you can get organic grey seeds for your parrots, even better, right? But with sunflower seeds for us are amazing. And I know the Greeks love their salted or unsalted. It's better to get unsalted sunflower seeds and just put your own Greek salt on top of it, because they're probably, I'm assuming they're putting shit salt. Sunflower seeds are unbelievable for our health, right? They actually help with chronic inflammation, and they contain vitamin E, flavonoids, you can Google it, friends, and other plant compounds that can reduce inflammation. So if you have sunflower seeds and other seeds 5 times or more a week, it reduces your inflammation. You know, inflammation is if you've got arthritis and, you know, pains in the rheumatoid or osteo, whatever, like I have or whatever. And also turmeric. Do not forget your turmeric, friends. Now, Musty, why have you got your back to me? Come here, Musty. Come and say hello to everyone. Come on, come on. Come on, Musty. No, come up. No, Musty wants to see. Musty's my little moustache parakeet. What happened to your beak here? You see? Is that the plaster you've been biting? That's what happens. I've been biting the plaster. It's not good. Now, friends, here's another article, which I think was today. 9th of July today. Sorry. No, this was 3rd of July, yesterday. Right, so this is in Victoria. So I mean, for those of you who don't want to watch the media or listen to the media, you're missing out on what's happening in the world. See? This is what's happening in Victoria, and yet they've extended it. So these groups that are online, why are they protesting against this? Because the federal government is okaying it too, which is liberal. Why are they protesting against it? You see, because when you've got this, a state of emergency, there's 1,000% no human rights. 1,000%. Like nothing matters. Like anyone can come to you, talk to you, whatever, say whatever, anything. It's really interesting, you know, friends, because after 2001, after the 9/11 thing and a few things that happened, remember in the world they started to introduce anti-TERRR laws. Well, and then what happened was, because, you know, I've been in animal activism for over 20 years. And so we were doing a lot of protests, you know, and annual protests to save these animals, that animal, no law of exports and the rest of it and whatever. And it's still happening, hasn't changed. Because all these animal groups are all controlled opposition to, 99.9% of them, they're all fake. So what they did is they said that anyone from these animal welfare groups, listen to what I'm saying, that is going to be protesting and doing nasty things or whatever, is going to be called a TERRORIST. Did I get it right? But they did that on purpose, not only to scare the animal welfare groups from fighting back and protesting, they also did it so they could slip that law in, right? So that during these state of emergencies, if you and I say something, we would be branded TERRORISTS. This is why they do things. It's all planned, friends. It's all planned. Just like when you go shopping. You don't just go shopping blind and say, now, which aisle do I go in? What do I need? Before you go shopping, you check your fridge, you see what you need, you check your pantry, you see what you need, you write down the list, you plan, you make sure you got petrol in the car, and you go. It's the same with what they're doing. Everything is planned. It's all been planned. We didn't suddenly get Chinese now. I mean, the Chinese have been coming, the investors have been coming from 1970s with their cameras to take photos of Australia to see which parcel of land and what business and what shopping strips they want to buy and invest in. This is not a new thing, friends. This has been happening for over 50 years. My mother used to tell me a lot of this stuff. I knew from 16. I'd met a wonderful man who was he was a family friend, and he was working in a very, very senior position in a bank in Melbourne, and he said that, and this was in the 80s, right? And he said that we're not going to have cash anymore. There's going to be just cards. Everything's going to be, you know, we're going to be followed, this and that and whatever. I mean, a lot of us have known about these things for many, many years. right? So when you know that something is going to happen that you don't like, aren't we meant to prepare ourselves? How are we preparing ourselves now? There's no preparation in Australia. There's absolutely nothing going on in Australia to prepare. And I've just got a pop up here from that stupid Jewish guy from Rebel News. He disappears, gets his money, sends it to Israel, and then he comes back again. There's so much stuff, rubbish. These are all controlled opposition. They're all distractors. They're all distractors, friends. They're all distractors, and they have a lot of followers who are in their clubs, cultural clubs, business clubs, and political clubs. This is why in Australia and Melbourne, nothing has happened for our better, because we've been following the wrong people. Now, there's another document here, the World Economic Forum. I must have printed it out a few months ago. We'll live to 100. How can we afford it? Well, this is bullshit, because we're not going to live till 100. No. What this document says, friends, and you can Google it, World Economic Forum, we'll live to 100. How can we afford it? It's if saying that we can't afford it. That's what this document is saying, is that we personally can't afford it to live, because they're going to take all our super. I've been saying it for years. They're going to take all our superannuation. Because the government's going to find some bullshit excuse, they need money, blah, 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 and take our super. When we know damn well that they print money. They're still printing money. Right? They're talking about life expectancy. How big is the retirement savings gap and the rest of it? Friends, I suggest you see what the World Economic Forum is talking about. And talking about the World Economic Forum, are you familiar with the think tanks that Julia Gillard, our ex-Prime Minister, ex-Prime Minister, that she was promoted to? See, because when they lose office, oh, that's an American term, when they lose their positions in Australia, like Rudd and all them, they get promoted to even higher and better positions overseas. Yeah, because we don't have positions in Australia. They're all shit positions, right? They're all the crappy, scummy, just a couple millions of dollars. They get promoted to better positions overseas. So Gillard got promoted to the think tanks. And think tank is another word for people who get together to think about what we should think about. That's all it is, friends. They get together, these group of people, I'm not going to use the keywords that you know, get together to think about how they should control my life, your life, and everyone's life. That's all they do. That's what a think tank is. So these have been around for a long, long time. I reckon think tanks have been around for probably 100 years. Now, friends, then I've got this other article here about archbishops and religions. They're not doing nothing, right? We know that, don't we? No one has come down a staircase from heaven to say stop, don't kill the people who are dying at the moment in aged care. Don't kill the people who are getting sexually abused and killed or murdered. Don't harm anyone. There's no one coming down a white light staircase from heaven, is there, friends? Because there ain't going to be anyone coming down. Because a lot of you are saying, oh, waiting for this, waiting for that, waiting in April, then waiting in June, then waiting in August, then waiting in September. Wait. Do you understand that you're all getting distracted? We need to deal with something now. We're not waiting for nothing. So you're saying that if there is a God out there who's here to save us, what is he or she waiting for? There are people dying now. There are people going through horrible situations at the moment, financially, physically, emotionally, health-wise. They're dying. I know personally people who are in aged care and they can't have visitors because their family members refuse to get this, so they are isolated on their own. Where is a God there to step in and help these people who in their 60s or 70s or 80s have Alzheimer's dementia because of the mercury that the GPs prescribed in the 50s? Or that the dentists approve of us having the mercury in our filling? Where is God now stepping in to save us? Where was he during the wars? Where is he with all the child abuse? Do you get the picture, friends? Musty's sitting up there. She's listening to me wondering, Musty, have you got plaster on your mouth? I don't like it how you got plaster. Now, friends, so to calm you down, other than the sunflower seeds, don't forget the rocket I mentioned. The rocket, they also call arugula. I didn't know that. It's really funny. A lot of you know I'm part of the movement of Dr. Shiva's movement, Truth, Freedom and Health. And I came across a video of his. He was talking about arugula, and I'm thinking, I know a lot of my herbs and greens and stuff. I'm not perfect, but I know a lot of them. I'm thinking, how come I've never heard of that? And I Google, and it's rocket. Rocket salad is unbelievable. I've still got some in the fridge. Just put a bit of olive oil on it, a bit of Greek salt, mix it with a bit of tomato. You can cook tomato. Cooked tomatoes apparently um, release a lot more vitamins than raw tomatoes. I don't know. That's what I've heard and read. I don't know if it's true or not. Put some cucumber in it, right? Make it fresh for summer. If in winter you can still have. Friends. I mix my greens with my steamed basmati rice. I love it, right? I love it. Okay, so rocket is amazing for our health. Rocket salad. Now, friends, I need you, please, to be aware. I'm going to keep saying it and saying it as often as I can. Please, 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 please be careful of these people that you think that you can trust. And I was talking about that Oracle, that film. Look at who makes films. Look at who talks, what they're doing. And I said to you guys last year, I've been doing videos from June, July, and I said, I will be exposing a lot of my personal life, my professional life, and who I am, and my moods and the rest of it. Because I knew last year, I know it's going to happen, friends. I know what's happening. I know it's going to happen. Right? I did that so that you guys could get to know me. So you could trust me a bit. It's Musty's tail. So you can trust me a bit. You can get to know me. So that when I talk about things like I am now, and from now onwards, no, don't chew the cable. So that you can consider, maybe Paris, we can trust her. Maybe. I'm not forcing you guys to trust me. But I tell you, look at what we've achieved in Australia now. Nothing has happened. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We're going to end up, I'm afraid, the way things are going, we're going to end up just like Greece, where if you work or run a business or whatever you do, you have to have this, and a lot of the times this, you have to. You have to. Otherwise, you can't work. And this is what's going to happen in Australia. I'm telling you, they're going to do it also. If you want to get on the dole and that, they're going to say, look, to sort of save money on health issues and whatever. If we pay you, no. That's a must. If we pay you, you have to get the jabination. Anyway, friends, a lot of you know that I've piggybacked on Dr. Shiva's movement, Truth, Freedom and Health movement. That's just musty. From America, from Massachusetts. And I've created a Facebook page around 2 months ago, I think, around 6 weeks ago. Please join. Just checking what she's chewing. Please join the group. I will put the link up here. Please join. Now, there's different ways you can join. You can join just as a supporter, $5, $10, whatever, right? Because it's going according to doing, it's got court cases and the rest of it. You can join as a member, and you can join as a warrior. And I've joined as a warrior. It's $100 one off. $100 American one off. I think it's American. And I'm currently going through my leadership studies and program and exam, right? To confirm that I've learnt something about systems science. Because what we've got to do to save ourselves and to save our countries in the world, we're all going through the same thing, is a system. It's a plan. Remember I used to talk about last year about manifesting on boards, and I've forgotten the words now, manifesting on the boards and vision boards, manifesting on boards and all that. Well, all these groups have got strategies and boards, vision boards, and that's why they're achieving what they're doing. We aren't getting anywhere. And I'm hearing from some people interstate from Victoria, whether it's Queensland or New South Wales, and they're quite shocked and scared with the lockdowns and the rest of it that they have. And I'm thinking, we've been through it hundreds of times here in Victoria last year and this year. So it looks like, friends, what they're doing is they're doing this incremental. They're doing it bit by bit. You see, because, friends, if they shut down the whole world, lockdown the same week, everyone would get out and scream. But by doing it in one state, of one country for 1 month, and then another state, so you do it in one, like Victorians now, we're all working again. Whereas another state now in Australia is shut down. Whereas if all of us were shut down, we'd all get out there and scream. But when you go back to work, you haven't got time to go and scream, right? You don't want to shout and scream. You don't want to. You're earning money and whatever. You don't care. You go, it's fine, I'm working now. This is going to get worse and worse and worse, where we won't even be able to work unless they know what we're breathing and what we're thinking. Unless they know what we're thinking and what we're breathing, we will not be able to work or do anything. And you can sense a lot of anger in the community. Have you noticed? I know in Melbourne, because I deal with a lot of people, that even whether I talk to them energetically, I pick up, and people I deal with one-on-one, they're very angry because they don't like what's going on, you see, because their lifestyle's been affected. They don't care about their health. No, you don't bite my ring. You don't bite my lapis lazuli ring. So a lot of people are angry because their lifestyle's being affected. They're not angry because they can't even see that the whole world's being screwed. They don't care about that. No, friends. I need to resonate and meet people who give a shit about what's happening, not just with themselves, ourselves, but also with our good people around us and with people all over the world. So please jump on this Facebook group, which is for members. It's free. Anyone can join, right? There's no questions. I'm not asking you a question. Just get on. I just put on information videos and that, and I'm always looking for admin. We've got 5 great admin at the moment. Always looking for more admin. And if you want to join, like I said, Dr. Shiva's movement, it's a movement. It's not his movement. It's our movement, right? He's educating us. That's his role. He's educating us. And I know that Dr. Shiva ran for an independent, as a political independent last year. He got more votes than anyone, but of course the voting system is rigged, just like it is in Australia. No, don't bite my, look, carrots. But I still love him. So Dr. Shiva, what Shiva is doing, is he's trying to educate us to know how to plan and strategize a movement. And I have at least 6 hours of meetings with him a week, and the rest of the members, the warrior members, at least, and the homework on top of it, and another more hours now we have with our leadership teams. Do you understand, friends, that from last year I was here to raise your vibrations and to help you guys, and I'm still the same. I haven't changed. I'm still here trying to find people to raise their vibrations and to lead us out of this terrible situation that we are in. It is not enough just to be leaders in our personal lives and professional lives, because you're not going to have a job, you're not going to have food, you're not going to have 1 cent the way things are going. We'll be lucky in a year if we can survive. We'll be lucky. They're moving really, really fast. You know who I'm referring to. So join our movement. Like I said, you can join for free also, or you can join as a warrior, which is $100, I think, is American. And it doesn't just teach you, and Shiva doesn't just teach us about politics, and he doesn't just teach us about the not so obvious establishment. He also teaches us a lot about health, because that is his background also. I won't waste your time now talking to you about it. You can jump on the Facebook pages on his website. You can watch the videos. You can put your headphones on, listen to them at night when you're walking around, doing whatever you're doing, washing dishes or whatever. Friends, please, please, please consider. You know, I'm not one to force you guys to do something, which I should. Please consider joining our movement. It's not going to cost you anything just to jump on the Facebook page and listen to a couple of videos. If you've got any questions, you can ask me. You can ask the Dr. Shiva team. Ask me in Australia. If you're in Australia, saying, who's this guy? What does he do? And whatever, and blah, blah. I mean, you're joining and following. We've been joining and following groups that have done nothing. He actually has an interest in Australia. He's got members in Greece. He's got members all over the world. He's got members everywhere, all over the world, UK, Canada, everywhere. Because most of us that were led to Shivas because we got sick and tired of the bullshit of nothing happening from the groups that were existing in Australia or wherever country you were. We're sick and tired. There's nothing happening. There's absolutely nothing happening. They're all fake groups. And why I have faith in Shiva, if you ask me, well, why him? Why should we trust him for what he's doing? Because he's educating me. And the $100 I gave, this is worth over $10,000 education I'm getting. It's worth over 10,000. This is what they learn at teach at MITs and Harvards and the rest of it, right? I mean, I'm embarrassed it's just $100, and I give money here and there when I can to help for a few things. It's just ridiculous. He's inspiring me. He's motivating me. He's giving me the confidence. I wake up every day. Often I wake up distressed and depressed and whatever because of issues with the birds or what's going on, or I'll see something online that distresses me about the birds or whatever. You know, I don't get distressed about what's happening with people because people are people. You can't change them. You can educate them, but you can't change them. Just say hello to everyone, Musty. See, I've got to clean your beak. I've got to clean your beak. He's educating us, friends. He's inspiring us. He's motivating us. He's not taking things into his own hands like the Australian unions and the unions are saying, you don't have to protest. You don't have to say much. You don't go to the government and the Prime Minister. We'll do that for you. Just pay your union fees every month out of your pay packet and we'll do that for you. No. Why can't you use your own throat chakra, your own voice to go out there and voice what you want? You may not want $5 extra a week. You may want $10. Why haven't you got the right to voice your opinion what you want every week? Why should the government, the unions dictate what you should or should not have and how your working conditions should be? You may have better ideas in working conditions. The unions have been planned and planted by political parties to make us all complacent, to shut us all up, and to think and to believe that someone else is doing the dirty work for us. Because nothing's changed. $20 an hour 20, 30 years ago, a lot of people still in Australia are still getting $20 an hour. Blacks are only getting paid what? A lot of people, blacks and whites, are getting paid $8 an hour in America. $5 I've seen an hour. Is that right, friends? Is that right? Even $10 an hour. Is that right? Even $20 an hour. It's a joke. $20 an hour when there are millionaires and billionaires out there. Do you know how much the celebrities and the actors are making? Friends, you know the Friends show, the TV series 20, 30 years ago, they were making $1 million an episode then because the advertisers were pumping all the money in. It's money laundering. $1 million an episode then, 20, 30 years ago. It was more than 20 years ago. 1 million an episode just for standing around saying bullshit. Is that right? And yet there's people out there saving people, animals and the rest of it, and we get nothing. And you're doing hard work where you're working and you get paid what, $20, $30, $40 an hour? Don't blame your bosses. That's how the infrastructure is. That's how the unions are. The unions are the ones that say, this is what you got to pay, this is what you got to do. So anyway, friends, I hope I've given you a bit of food for thought, including the turmeric and the rocket salad. I've put up these links here. Please join our Australian group and check out the Dr. Shiva website. He's got his own TV platform. He's not going to be reliant on YouTube anymore because of his science and computer background and the rest of it. He has created his own YouTube platform. So even when they take him off or censor him on all the other platforms, he's able to still say what and do what he's doing on those platforms. The only thing that can take us down is electricity, right? Is if they shut the power and then that's it. So he's created all these platforms for us to use also. I'll also be able to do videos from those platforms, right? To talk to you guys about what's going on out there about our movement. It's just join us, friends. Just check us out and just see what's the difference with Shiva's movement, which is all over the world. What we're saying and how we're trying to motivate and inspire people compared to the other groups, because I don't see any motivation, education, and inspiration from the other groups. They've done nothing. Anyway, guys, I've kept you long enough. It's just after 4 here in Melbourne. It's getting cold and cool outside. I need to go and give the children their afternoon tea. And that's all right, Musty. That's all right. Wishing you all a great Saturday afternoon or a great Saturday wherever you are in the world. Look after your health, because without health, friends, we have absolutely nothing. Nothing. If our health, and when I say health, I'm not just talking physical, I'm saying also emotional health. If we're so distracted and so upset and pissed off and emotionally upset with stuff, you can't think clear, you can't focus, you can't move forward. We all have problems, but we need to write them down and figure out what the solutions are. And there are solutions to all problems. Anyway, everyone, thanks for listening. I'm here for you guys. If there's anything I can do to help you or your birds, okay, just send me a message. And if you call me, messenger me, and you haven't heard from me, friends, I get tens and tens and tens of messages a day through Messenger and also through my phone. I've got at least, you'll see here, I've got at least 139 voice messages that I still haven't checked, right? I've got so many messages. Just keeps reminding me, say, Paris, I've tried to contact you, this and this and this. Don't think I'm ignoring you guys, okay? Have a fabulous day. Look after yourselves, look after your health. And truth, freedom, and health. Isn't that what we want? Truth, freedom, and health. One can't work without the other. We need all three. We need all three. Truth, freedom, and health. Love you all. Thanks for listening. High vibrations, everyone. Bye. Come on, Musty. We're saying goodbye. Come on, Musty. Come and say goodbye to everyone. Come on. Come on, Musty. Come on. Come on. You want to sit on the webcam or sit on the camera?